Hello, my dear viewer. My name is Imran Ijaz. You know very well I am starting the program on behalf of the Voice of Ukrainian, and today is my guest is Ninuka. She is Georgian and also journalist, political and social activist. So today I invite to her to share about some information regarding the Georgia as well. So, welcome to Miss Nenuka in Voice of Ukrainian platform, and
Thank you. Hi,
thank you
Imran.
very much for your participation.
Thank
And
you for
I'm
having.
sorry you will be wait for the little minute because due to some technical reasons, so that's why our program will be started after 5 to 10 minutes. So, first of all, can you please introduction about the yourself, and after I will tell you about the my question.
Uh, okay. So I'm, as you've said, uh, I can say former journalist because I'm not an active journalist right now. I don't work for any TV or radio station. Mm, I tried to help my country from United States because I was forced to leave Georgia 5.5 years ago because of the political situation. So I'm trying to be active, stay active in US right now. So that's all I do for now. Being active through social media, and I'm trying to publish something too. But basically I'm fighting against my corrupt and current government. That's all I do right now.
Okay. So can you please tell me about the what you think right now political situation in Georgia?
Political situation in Georgia is worst we've ever seen since our independence in 1992. So 91. It's very sad, but we've had some breakthrough from 2003 to 2012, despite a lot of mistakes, we have much better situation then. So we've done some progress. We became a state. This was the main goal, I think, and main success of previous government. But because of the mistakes and because of the hybrid war Russia is having against the civilized world, so we've made very bad decision, but we didn't have any other choice. We've had to change the government in 2012, but we've chosen very bad guys. Like we went back to Soviet times, or back to Russia. I would define it so. So our direction was actually since Shevardnadze's time, the country's orientation was still Western. This is first time in our history, in independent Georgia's history, that our main strategical partners are criticizing government this much, and that our partners are saying that state is captured, the Georgian state is failing, democracy is failing in Georgia. So the first problem is Russian influence, infiltration of Russia as such in our life, in our economy, in our mentality, like re-infiltration, I would say, the highest level of corruption, and the poverty, etc., etc. What follows this first two problems. So this is situation right now. So I can't say we have dictatorship, because we don't, but we have criminals working alongside to government, or government working alongside to criminals. So they have some kind of deal. Criminals are helping during the elections, and government is making blind eye what criminals do. So on what criminals do. So this is the biggest problem right now, and we hope to be able to change it in coming elections in October, and by the end of the October. I think October 31st, the election day.
And what do you think about the European Union in Georgia? You know very well, European Union is already helped Ukraine, Georgia as well. So what do you think about the main key player role in European Union in Georgia in current government? They support the current government, or they are not support the current government?
Current government? I don't think anyone supports current government. I don't think even Russians support current government, because this is not a government. I can't really discuss our current government, because this is like a tribe, like a mob. Mobsters are in charge now in Georgia. What I would say about European Union, of course, everyone has its issues, and I might not be completely happy with what's going on in the world or what's going on towards Georgia or Ukraine. I would have more engagement and more press from pressing, from the West, but that's not the case right now to discuss, because we are in such a bad shape. We're performing so badly that it makes no sense to criticize European Union. But I still would say that if our Western partners were more remain more principled, and if they would oppress more Russia, maybe it would help us. But if we are open to Russian influence, if our society is open to this infiltration I was talking about, what it's going to change European Union. European Union can't help in this case when the society is not ready to make some changes and change its way of living or thinking. Like, as I said, our mentality is corrupt. We are post-Soviet society, and we're having our own issues and problems with that. And I think the main problem is that, and everyone's using it. Russia is using it to keep its influence or to regain its influence in our region, and the government is using it to become very rich. They're just stealing from country.
So that's mean right now is current dictatorship.
Well, we don't have dictatorship. I wouldn't define it as dictatorship. It's a more like a feudal age, you know. It's like tribes, and it's like one mob, like mafia.
Yes.
You know what mob is, right? Mafia organization is ruling Georgia. It's not a dictatorship, but you might get killed. You might get. You're not safe. As I've said, so government is working alongside the criminals. Dictatorship is still something different. We don't have dictator right now. We have corrupt and criminal government.
So what do you think? How to come change? Maybe new leadership or maybe new face.
You know, this is the subject Georgia is discussing. Well, I think last 8 years, what would change the situation? We unfortunately we have very corrupt and compromised political class in general. Our laws and regulations, regarding elections, were very unfair. So election environment was not free, was never free, neither in last 8 years or before. So we were expecting after 2012 to have some changes. But of course, this current government didn't change anything. So when the circle of the stage of politics is so closed and unfriendly to the new people, new political parties, movements, it's very difficult to get into it. This is the thing we are facing like last 25 years. We see the same. Absolutely the same faces, even during after Rose Revolution in 2003 up to 2012. We've seen people who were in Shevardnadze's government as well. They still want to run for the parliament right now. So this is amazing how people don't want to let it go and give other people a chance to try to be in politics. So we need certainly new faces and new types of leaders.
Maybe new face, Nisha. What do you think about it? If we return back to the Georgia.
Well, Misha is very extraordinary person. You know, he's not ordinary one. So I'm sure he wants to come back to Georgia and he wants to make up his mistakes as well, and this new government's mistakes. But not everyone thinks like that. Like half of the country is still thinking he has not to be now in active politics. I would gladly see Misha in Georgia doing some goods for our country, but Misha is not the new face. Misha is
Okay.
very modern, very progressive leader, but he's not new. And I'm not saying that we don't need anyone who's been previously in the politics. I'm just saying we need new leadership, new ways of govern, new ideas. We have to change so many things. We need very strong team as a government. This government from 2020 to 2024, I think it will be more transitional government. So what I'm expecting from them to, of course, if they win, if the opposition wins, and if we will have a coalition and coalition governing Georgia. So I would expect changing the laws, changing the financial situation, and in 2024, we can think about more stable and more new stages of development of our country. So we definitely need new faces and definitely need new people, not corrupt people.
And of course, not come from Russia as well.
From Russia, of course. Well, you know, in democratic
Yes.
World, I mean, and states, everyone has a right to exist. It's about who's having more influence. You have to perform better so the majority believes that your way of thinking is more acceptable. I can't force out somebody from the politics just because they're pro-Russian. I can explain why they're wrong. I can't say that I don't have to let some. If someone is pro-Russian, it doesn't automatically mean that they're enemies of the state from their point of view. From my point of view, yes, but it's not necessarily that they're thinking they want Georgia as a state to disappear. Like they have to. They have to exist as well, I think. But people have to know what's Russia and what's West. This is two different worlds, right? We have to explain to people that West is not pedophiles or sin coming from them, and that this is the free world, and what goods we have from democracy. We have to explain that to people. People don't know that. That's why pro-Russian political parties still have some influence or support, but it's pretty small number, I would say. It's like not more than 5-6% of entire population. But they're not going to. We have most pro-Russian government right now, not because that, but it's not about the ideology. That's the problem. If they would be idealists, just pro-Russian, like communists, I would accept them easier than now, because they don't have any ideology, they don't have any ideas, they don't have a vision. They just want to steal from the country, and therefore they're ready to give up the country. So that's my problem. So they're not pro-Russian. It's just Russian style of govern. Of course, we have some pro-Russian guys, which is Prime Minister. He's, I think he's more Russian than Georgian. But our government is pro-Russian because they don't have any ideology or any vision. So you get it, what I'm saying, right?
So my last question is that Russia in Ukraine, Russia in Georgia. Now you see the Russia is also Belarus. So what do you think about this right now current situation in Belarus?
I envy, first of all, and it's fascinating what's going on right now there, because this dictatorship in last 20-something, 26 or 28 years, it had not only its negative sides. We see that there's no political class in, I told you before we started, no political class in Belarus. So they're so pure right now, so non-corrupt. They could build a super European country, I would say, and they don't need to confront with anyone. So I don't think Russia would invade right now in Belarus, because Russia has a lot to lose, and Russia's not going to, I think, so that's my private opinion, that they're not going to make the same mistake they've done in Ukraine or in Georgia before, but Ukraine was still different. It was slipping away from Russia's influence, right? So I think they just have to be very careful by choosing the leaders right now and the team which will govern in next how many, 4 or 5 years. Russia's going to try to influence that part of the situation. What's going to be next? This reminds me, what's going on in Belarus right now reminds me of 1989 Georgia, when we were so united and so as a one person against the empire. So it's absolutely the same, but the way they're doing this is fascinating. Belarus is European country, so they have to have their voice in Europe, and I'm sure they're gonna do well.
I hope your prediction will be correct and President Putin will be understand about the last mistake and they will be not do the anything aggression in Belarus. But right now, as per social media and his last statement, he openly admit that they will be ready to help the Belarus president Lukashenko.
Well, on personal level, Putin hates Lukashenko, to be honest.
Yes,
they have this fight between each other, so you can't say Putin. I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I think Putin won't risk now because he has to lose a lot. He's confronted with almost entire Western world, right? Russia is losing, is weakening every time Russia's doing invading some country, or every time Putin's doing things like this. So it won't be wise, first of all, and it would cost Russia a lot financially, human resources, etc. So it's not in their best interest to invade in Belarus right now. European Union, entire West has supported Belarus, so I think the process will end in a good way. I hope so. I really hope, and I really hope they will make a wise choice after Lukashenko. I think Lukashenko is done for now.
The time is gone.
It's enough. Enough is enough.
Yeah. So best if we go back. Otherwise, maybe they also need the helicopter to.
I hope he won't come to Georgia.
No, Georgia. Might be they will be also stay with
he has no place to go. That's the very funny thing. Maybe to Cuba.
Cuba. Yes, absolutely right.
But
what do you think about the American situation about the Belarus? Because we are not watching any powerful statement from the American side. We know very well because American is also busy from the election as well. So what do you think? Have any support from America to Belarus, or they are just watching? They are just watching.
I think they're observing the process, and America will make a very strong and very pro-American and Western statement. I'm sure of it. They're just. It was the same in 2003. The United States congratulated Shevardnadze. right before the revolution. So it's American politics. Like they're gonna make a statement. They're waiting. They're observing. They're looking. What's gonna happen? So no worries about that. Yeah, we have here Corona situation. We have here crimes issues. We have issues with Democrats and Republicans being in war against current president. So Americans have a lot of things to do, domestic problems and issues. So
problem as well.
Yeah.
So
an election.
What do you think will be next president United States of America?
I think it will be Donald Trump.
Donald Trump again?
I think so. So everything indicates on that.
But President Joe Biden also situation is the very good as per prediction.
I don't trust mainstream media's polls. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to say anything else because, yeah, I have my opinion. I'm not voting in the United States, so I try not to take sides publicly. So I think Trump has pretty good chance to become president again.
Yes,
let's see.
And
we're going to see it in a couple of months.
Yes, and the American also support the current government in Georgia.
American government is making statement. Not only the government, entire establishment is making statements every other week. So I've never seen this much statements from State Dep, from Congress, from Senate. I've never heard in my life that anyone would say there are political prisoners in Georgia. Even in Shevardnadze's times, when we did have political prisoners, Americans wouldn't admit that. Now they say it every other week. They tweet about Georgia. This is, I feel so ashamed, actually. I feel that it's good that they're making the statements because our government needs to be pushed, and like they need some press from the West and from major partners, but it's not good for the country. We have to rebuild our renommee after, and we're gonna have to pay for that as a country, as a state. But Georgian Dream doesn't care about it. This is the problem.
This is the problem. So best hope to change Georgia, and best wishes from Voice of Ukrainian side as well.
Thank you very much.
New face and new leadership is the most important, especially for the democracy, peace, freedom, love, and respect. And especially from the Ukraine side, we really love to our neighbor Georgia, and also best wishes to the Belarus as well.
Thank you very much.
So thank you very much for you give me your important time, and
thank you for having me.
Invite you again to my next session as well.
It will be my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Take care of yourself. Bye.
Bye.